Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Gaiety Titan. And we're on Malinovka and I'm in the Nameless. This is another game from a while back when I got the STA2 and started playing Japanese tanks. And as it turned out at the beginning, the only tanks Japanese crews, technically I suppose, or loosely technically they were Japanese crews, were the crews that came with the Nameless and the Edelweiss. They're two tanks from the game The Valkyria Chronicles, which is a kind of an alternate history fantasy type game. It's kind of a role-playing, ensemble role-playing. You're not playing a single character so much as you're playing out the story of Squad 7 in which is essentially a platoon of infantry supported by a tank. The commander drives in the tank and one of the characters is the tank's driver and mechanic. There doesn't seem to be any other crew. And it's set in a kind of pseudo-Europe circa kind of World War I, World War II mix where this free nation has been invaded by the nasty Germanic-style Imperians. Imperians, I think they refer to them as the Eastern Imperium. And there's also a Western Confederation, which is supposed to be sort of democracies and republics, but there's some evidence in the game that they're not much nicer than the other guys. And the tanks were brought out to promote. I think they brought out an updated version of the game there last year, and the tanks were available for purchase to kind of promote the game, and so causing some controversy at the time because of the anime tanks, and particularly the Nameless because it was considered to be overpowered. Now, it's not really. It's got weaknesses that actually were a lot worse at the time. I think it's actually performs better now than it did when I bought it, simply because the people currently playing don't really know about the weaknesses of it, or don't seem to know about the weaknesses of it. Basically, the frontal armour and the front turret armour is really strong. Even though I think the commander's hatch is pretty strong, but the side armour is pretty poor. And the tracks are a bit on the weak side. They will eat a lot of damage, but it's fairly easy to track it. And it's got practically no gun depression. Very difficult tank sometimes to bring the gun to bear. Gun's powerful enough though if you get it pointing at the target, but sometimes that can be a real problem. So by any practical measure, our team have lemming trained down the northwestern side of the map. They've basically all gone the hill, and I haven't pushed the top of the hill because if I got to where our leading edge of the tanks are, I might be able to shoot down, but I'd have to expose the whole tank to shoot downhill. There's no way I could sort of fire hull down. The gun depression simply wouldn't be good enough. But I'm now trying to get into a position where I think we're going to face a fairly strong assault across the northern edge of the field. Now I make a bit of a mistake here because I am looking at or staying in this position, and I'm kind of caught in the open here. It's not a great position to be in. I should actually have stuck with the original plan and gone to some place where I had a certain degree of cover and maneuverability. This KV-4 is actually, unless he turns the turret sideways, it's practically a waste of time trying to shoot at him, because he's got like 3 meters of oblique armor by virtue of the AMX that he's pushing in front of him. He's also out of view range of our remaining defenders. I think for the two tank destroyers, they're actually over at the other side of the map. All our remaining tanks are heavy tanks. So he's pushing that Batchat 12T, and I started to withdraw there, and then I came under fire, and I'm tracked. And I'm going to be tracked for quite some time. So there's a T-54 Mod 1 there. There's a Tiger 2 shooting at because he's what tracked me. There's a Motherland. And there's the KV-4, and they're all out there. They're all got pretty powerful guns, and they're pretty powerful tanks. Now, when I can get a decent shot back at a tank, I've got a pretty powerful gun myself. The problem is that I'm not quite facing frontally against everybody, so I'm going to get side shots, and I'm going to get shots into the side armour by some people. And I'm not getting the opportunity to withdraw either, because as soon as my tracks are up, they're down again. We take advantage there because the fire is slackened off. I should probably have gone for the front of the tank rather than the turret roof. I think the turret roof is actually very heavily armoured. I think all the flat surfaces on the KV-4 are very heavily armoured, which is one of the reasons why it's such a heavy tank. So we're pulling here back behind this building, where hopefully I can keep this gun in action without being seen, or at least being seen as much. However, fortunately for us, we managed to claw our way back. We've actually recovered. We were down 4 tanks at one stage, and we're only down a tank now, although it's still everything to play for. And I think we've too many tanks high on the hilltop rather than pushing down a little bit. However, the enemy are still very strong. We're still under a lot of threat. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. Managed to get some blind fire damage there. And let's see, he's gone. Challenger is probably worth shooting at. If I can get a hit him, he's a long way away. And that hit, but he's gone invisible again. The fact that we don't really have light tanks, we're just relying on heavy tanks and the enemy moving and stuff to be spotted, is a bit of a problem as well. We've managed to take out the Challenger. The KV-4 is still down there. The Motherland has just popped up, but it's not at a good angle. I think I was fortunate to put once with the turret there with the Tiger 2. And I thought I saw the Motherland popping up, but I don't see her. Don't see it now. There it is. It's reverse sloped away from me. I have to wait for it to show up higher. See if I can get a shot into the lower front plate of the tracks. But it doesn't look like I get a clear shot there yet. And we've managed to pull a tank or two ahead though. So I think we've cleared over the eastern side of the map. And it's possibly time to start pushing forward a bit, push our advantage. The enemy artillery, one of them is still alive anyway, and yeah, 2 tanks up. Well, we are now pushing down off the eastern side of the hill, and there is the Tiger 2. It's the main obstacle I think now, because I don't think he has anybody else up there with him. I think we've dealt with anything we've spotted incoming on that side. Managed to track the Tiger 2, and then I thought I'd go for the turret side because he's not pointing the gun at me, and we've managed to get that one in. The turret cheeks are actually, on the turret sides are actually quite weak, and there's the Motherland. Don't know what way it's angled, but we managed to get the shot in and finish the Motherland off. Now we're not a whole lot of tanks up, but there's only 3 of them left, so it's time to push forward and start finding out where they are. Not a lot of hit points left though, so I thought I'd come down here and provide supporting fire on the lakeside, and that our guys could push forward north and south, and maybe they'd see something. I didn't expect to be the one that actually spotted something first, because as you can see I don't have a great view range. I don't know where that guy's pinging the eastern side of the map. We know there are no enemies up there, and it's not really going to make much difference if they take it. Now I'm targeted all of a sudden, so I need to get down into low ground. I don't know what's targeting me. There's a Ferdinand, which is a very formidable gun. I would knock very solid holes, I think, even in the front of this tank, even with premium rounds. So we found a Ferdinand, and I think the Ferdinand could easily put rounds through me, but there is more than the Ferdinand out there. There's still a light tank somewhere. And I think the light tank is around somewhere as well, because I think I've been spotted. Yeah, I was spotted there, I think, before I got a line of sight of the Ferdinand, so I think there's somebody else out there as well, possibly the light tank. Snap a shot off at the Ferdinand, but I didn't do any real damage. I don't really want to hang around. So there's artillery support, and there is the light tank, and the light tank's the right angle for me. He could probably put rounds through me, although I think the light tank is actually in front of me down by the field. could be spotted. Well, I suppose there's artillery. There he is. He's probably somewhere in that direction as well. I don't know where that shot came in. And it looks like to me that the light tank, yeah, just basically got a golden bullet there around that just went through my armour at some spot. And I certainly didn't notice there was anything, she was saying, untoward with the armour that would allow it. I wasn't, normally I would expect most of the time this tank to resist rounds from a Lycan. It's a pretty tough tank, and I was doing so earlier on, but then you'll always get the remote chance or the outside chance. If it's within the range of the gun, the outside chance would get one through, and I just saw to the left that one was all that was needed. Now I have been destroyed, but so is most of the enemy team. There's only the artillery remaining, and the artillery's just been spotted at the far end, and lots of targets to shoot at him and a lot of people. He's making a run for the lakeside, and I think he was caught before he got there. So we did almost 2,000 points of damage. We did almost 2,000 points of assisted spotting damage, and we got more than 4,500 damage blocked. So let's see the final score. So 2,833. Oh yes, there was some blind fire damage. 1,915 assisted damage, 4,500 blocked, and no steel wall. Quite remarkable. Second class mastery, and a Confederate, and obviously fire for effect and stuff like that. We also managed to nail 2 enemy tanks before we were destroyed, so we came number 2 by experience. Tiger 2 came before us. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.